Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
About a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark, the Department of Justice, and quite possibly the President of the United States himself. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. But the one thing I will not do is take credit for this. I am looking at the Wall Street Journal. The author of the article is a guy by the name of Sean McLean. Let me read to y'all the opening couple of graphs because I want you to hear the impact of this. This is serious. This is serious. And I could say it with my team here, having the footage and the receipts to back me up. I could be in that I told you so mode. I really, really could. But I ain't going to do that because I'm in a good mood. I'm going to be chill. But I could be saying I told you so. Because let me read this to you. Caitlin Clark has done for the women's NBA what Michael Jordan once did for the NBA. Made it more valuable, watchable, and marketable. Instead of protecting its transformative star, the league's leadership ignores the relentless targeting of Ms. Clark, treating its greatest asset as if she were a PR headache. That approach could turn into a legal liability for the WNBA. Since she joined the league last year, Ms. Clark's impact has been seismic. Merchandise sales soared 601%. Indiana Fever viewership jumped 170%. The team's value tripled. League Pass subscriptions climbed 366%. App engagement rose 613%. And her endorsements topped $11 million. She's the economic engine driving the league forward. Mystics co-owner Sheila Johnson questioned Ms. Clark's 2024 Time Athlete of the Year recognition. Ms. Clark shattered fan vote records with 1.29 million all-star votes, yet ranked only 9th among guards on the player ballot. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't stop there. Because before I read you some quotes, I want to also read you why I'm saying this to you. Remember when I brought up the 2024 U.S. Olympic roster, how she was left off of that, and how stupid that was for Team USA women's basketball to leave her off? Remember I said that? They said this is where they're going now. Ms. Clark's targeting may reflect a culture of disparate treatment, and the evidence provides reasonable cause for a federal probe into potential civil rights violations. Am I making it up now? Remember I said this months ago. Remember I talked about people being jealous. The Cheryl Swoops of the world and others. Remember I pointed that stuff out? Remember I talked about the rough housing? Remember I talked about all of that? Let me read further. This would mirror the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission investigation into the Erica Hamby's pregnancy discrimination claims against the WNBA and her team. Congress and Labor and Justice Departments would be justified in examining the facts. At Harvard and Columbia, during anti-Semitic protests, institutional leaders played down threats and failed to protect students. Congress and Trump's administration demanded answers. Columbia's recent $221 million settlement for civil rights violations shows the effect of such scrutiny. If the Trump administration can settle with Colombia for a $221 million settlement over what's taking place on the campus. You think you can definitively rule out what kind of noise can be made if the WNBA continues to allow this treatment of Caitlin Clark? You really, really think they're going to be silent? Now, before you go any further, I'm not here saying that the case will be won by the government if it got to that point or anything like that. I'm saying they have a case. They have an argument. And do we doubt that at his discretion, at his disposal, if he finds this to be an issue that's politically expedient for him, that Trump won't use this to feed his base? The golden child in her second year in the league, who was top 4 in MVP voting last year, the assist leader last year, galvanizing talent that has done wonders for the NBA. If she is seen to be physically getting abused on a basketball court in a way that is such a clear and flagrant discrepancy compared to what happens to others, that man is not going to say something? Didn't you just hear Charlamagne the God point to Trump?
All right, so welcome back, guys. You just heard Stephen A. Smith laminated, laid out, and went into depth. And this is what I was waiting for. This is what I was waiting for, to mainstream media start to garner this, to grab attention to this. I did a video last night on it. And this is, to me, is my part 2, because what I'm going to bring to y'all today is going to shed a whole lot of light on a lot of things. This is a serious situation. As Stephen A. Smith illustrated in his video, his podcast, he stated that there are things that could warrant more in-depth stuff to trigger for somebody like Trump or Congress to get involved. They already have ammunition. You have Sophie Cunningham coming out. You have Candace Parker coming out. You have Rebecca Lobo coming out. You have all these people. Dick Vitale, by the way. Even Gino Omer had said that Caitlin Clark was being targeted. So it's not surprising, guys, that this has come out. Now, some people think that, well, okay, it's not perfect timing. Well, Stephen A. said it's perfect timing. Me personally, there's no timing like the right timing. Because guess what? When this article came out, it didn't take for ESPN to pull Stephanie White on a show in LA because, well, the team is playing in LA. But how fitting it was that she wanted to give Caitlin Clark all these accolades, these props and everything like that, and saying how the team will be more dangerous when Caitlin Clark comes back. But before the season started, you was talking good about Caitlin, but as the season went on and she's been injured, you have been singing a whole different tune. See, sometimes there's only take one thing to trigger a firestorm. The saying goes, if there's smoke, there's fire. Sean McClain started the fire. Trust me as I tell you, this story is not going to get gone. Now, unless the WNBA, Commissioner Engelberg comes out, the only way that I see this changing, once Caitlin Clark come back, how is she's going to be played? How physical they going to be with her? Are the referees going to continue to allow her to get victimized, abused, or assaulted on the court? I showed y'all in my last video pictures of Tiffany Hayes punching Caitlin Clark down on her back, how her fist clutched down her back. Tina Charles grabbing her hair and punching her in her side. I showed y'all that. Some people think the article is bad, but if you really read the article, there's a lot of facts in it. There's a lot of facts in it, people. You can look. Stephen A. just gave y'all an example. Dearica Hamby. Dearica Hamby. Dearica Hamby. Her lawsuit against the Las Vegas Aces is still going right now. Still going right now. Even though her claims against the WNBA was dismissed in March or so, whatever. But it highlights discrimination and retaliation due to her being pregnant. The case involves allegations that Aces discriminated against her because of her pregnancy and retaliated against her after she announced her pregnancy. Now, you said to me, do the Indiana Fever organization could be liable for anything that's going on with Caitlin Clark? I like to think so, because the fact of the matter is, she's working for them. She's an employee of theirs. She's under their watch. Her injury should never have took place. As she's continued to get unfair treatment once she come back, I bet my bottom dollar that Congress, Trump, will get involved. They will get involved, people. I want to highlight something that one of my subscribers pointed out to me this morning, and it makes perfect sense. The Wall Street Journal's article is likely to trigger a significant claim reaction to several reasons. One, legal and political chain reaction. Lawmakers may pick it up. Conservatives and moderate politicians who have already accompanied Caitlin Clark as a symbol of fairness might cite the article as evidence of the league bias and or civil rights neglect. Expect mentions in Congress or state legislators. Civil rights groups may get involved, even if no legal case is pursued. Watchdogs groups may been public scrutinize the WNBA, especially around hostile work environment or desperate treatment. Clark could become a legal flashpoint. Even without her consent or participation, Clark may become the face of a broader legal or cultural push for accountability. Two, media amplification. Conservative outlets like Fox, Daily Wire, etc., will amplify the Wall Street Journal's piece heavily, framing the WNBA as an anti-white, anti-female success, or anti-mainstream America league. Mainstream media may begin treating this story more seriously and start asking, is the WNBA mishandling Caitlin Clark's safety and marketing? Documentaries or think piece momentum. Think of ESPN, 30 for 30, or even Netflix Sports. I'm going to start right here, guys. You know why? Because Stephen A. Smith said that. This could be one of the most cosmic stories of this century, of this decade right now. Caitlin Clark, like it says, without her participation or her consent, but the treatment that she has been given by the WNBA and the players in there, especially when they're in the mix of a CBA agreement, we already see viewership numbers have went down significantly without her playing. Players went out here and say, pay us what you owe us. A slap in the owner's face. But then they're going to look at you and say, well, what value do you bring because Caitlin Clark is not playing? Your numbers is down. How can we pay you even more money? Then you have your own commissioner that's not even speaking out for you or standing up for you at all. See, this stuff like this is bigger than what we think it is. Again, me personally highlighting this, I was waiting for either Jason Whitlock or Stephen A. Smith to get hold to this. Stephen A. Smith, which he's pretty much been around the political standpoint right now, it didn't take long for him to get on to this. It's not going to take long for Stephen A. Smith to address this on First Take. Because if he's addressing this on his podcast, you best believe it's going to make its way to ESPN First Take. And it's going to be sitting in the lap of Aneka Umake, not Aneka, Shanae Umake, Andrea Carter, Ellen Duncan. And they're not going to have words. They're not going to be able to say anything. See, the thing about this is something like this need to politicize. Now, some people say, hey, this article should have came out last year, the beginning of the season. Why now? Well, guess what? Are we going to wait till the end of the year to Caitlin Clark probably out for the whole season and she's continued to get hurt and say, well, why this article couldn't come out sooner? Now, in the mix of everything, because she's not playing, and you taking the vast of all the flagrant fouls that's been going on. We just seen Janelle Salone flagrant foul Jewel Lloyd, got tossed. Nothing happened to Tina Charles. Nothing happened to J.C. Sheldon. Nothing happened to Marina Mabry. And then Caitlin Clark had to play them again, and J.C. Sheldon jumped up and kneed her. So then you seeing players on her back with their fists grip to punch her in her back. Sophie Cunningham just told y'all they already was after her. And we sit here acting like we blind, her fans is blind, the people that cover her is blind. No, it's not. Let me go to my second part. Third, corporations and sponsorship pressure. Clark's sponsors like Nike, Gator, and State Farm, etc., might privately pressure the league to ensure her treatment doesn't reflect poorly on their brand. Sponsors may ask, are we marking a player who is being mistreated by her own league? New endorsement deals may include clauses protecting a star athlete from image damage conservatives tied to the league itself. 4. WNBA internal fraction. Other players may push back if the league even hints of special protection for Clark. Some veterans could revolt, claiming favoritism. Players union tensions. The WNBPA may face internal rifts between players who feel Clark is unfairly targeted and those who think she's being propped up at their expense. Front office strain. Teams like Indiana may feel squeezed, torn between protecting their star and manage legal policies. 5. Fan reaction and cultural war fallout. Clark's fan base will mobilize, especially online. Think X, Twitter, Threads, YouTube documents, Substack exposures, etc. Old guard versus new fans. Divide deepens. The Clark effect already caused tension. The article weaponized is into a moral and legal discussion, not just a basketball one. Casual fans and parents might feel the WNBA is unsafe or unfair to their biggest star. Then you take this part, and this the ending of it. Bottom line, the Wall Street Journal article did not just float a legal idea; it planted a bombshell narrative. The WNBA failed to protect the biggest star and maybe even discriminate against her. Whether or not the legal argument holds up, the public perception war has begun and it will reshape how Clark is viewed, how the league handles officiating, and how the WNBA markets itself to new fans. This is no longer about fouls. It's about culture, so forth and so on. And I sit here and tell you this, guys. I sit here and tell y'all this. I don't put this stuff out for a reason. Even though my video is going to be a little long, but I want y'all to get this in your head. I want y'all to get this because this is important, not just for myself, but it's important for y'all as viewers. As other content creators may cover this as well, I I had to sit back and collect all of this because I just brought up the Derek and Henry situation. Not only that, we could go back as the Donald Sterling situation with the NBA when he got caught on audio talking racist stuff, and the league stand up and Adam Silver had to step in. But now this is discrimination to one of the biggest stars in the league, which is Caitlin Elizabeth Clark. Because the fact of the matter is that we have seen her got beat up on from last year to this year. This year, to me, I feel is even worse because she has been put out with injury. You know what I'm saying? How well, and I just give y'all an example as I read and told y'all before I even read the article that there's going to be pressure from the Indiana Fever organization to protect Caitlin Clark. Because if Caitlin Clark comes back and she gets hurt again, you best believe there's going to be a rift like no other through the WNBA that we have not seen in women's sports in years. Because the fact of the matter is, this situation cannot be going on. It cannot be tolerated. Andy Fulham for Twitter said the WNBA needs to treat Clark and the Indiana Fever fairly, or Congress will hopefully do the right thing and step in. Representative, now Senator Jim Banks, sent the league a letter months ago demanding answers over a year ago, and no response. They have been fairly warned. Let me tell you something. As I had watched the end of Stephen A. Smith video, he said exactly the same thing. And I'm telling you this, WNBA, you have been fairly put on notice and you have been warned. Because the fact of the matter is, right now, if this continues throughout the rest of the season with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, you best believe in all season, there will be an internal investigation going on into the league. So my suggestion is Captain Ingeberg. When Caitlin Clark comes back, you might need to send a memo to your league prior to her coming back. Send a memo to every team, every player. There would not be no unfair treatment or unnecessary fouls to any player. If there will be any unnecessary fouls, you will get suspended for the rest of the season automatically. I would not waste 1 second talking about fines or injections. You will get suspended for the rest of the season. And then I will hold coaches and organizations accountable if this kind of behavior continues on throughout the league. There will be major fines for organizations and coaches. See, the NFL did it to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick when they had Deflategate. We see what happened in the NBA. So why not the WNBA can be held to the same standard? See, I can tell you this. As someone who watches sports regularly and very knowledgeable on sports itself, I illustrated the Washington Commanders early on when they was being probed for discrimination, sexual assault, and all of this stuff with Daniel Snyder. And they took a while to get into it. And Roger Goodell and others had to go to Congress and sat there in front of Jim Jordan and them. I'm telling y'all, this stuff with Caitlin Clark ain't just happened. That article with the Wall Street Journal just did not fall on somebody's lap. This was a strategic tactic to get the WNBA's attention. Rather, you could say, I wanted it to wait then or wait now, but this was strategic. This was a strategic move to get the WNBA attention. Now, whether it did or not, well, you could say, hey, it did, because guess what? Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White actually went on ESPN and glazed over Caitlin Clark. But you best believe there's eyes watching. There's eyes watching the league right now closely, down to the wire. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions for me and you would like for me to answer, hit me in my email at LiveWire Sports Entertainment, ENT. Well, LiveWire Sports ENT at gmail.com. I will be glad to answer. We could talk behind the scenes. If you're a member of the channel, join as a member. I can have our members on the live. We could discuss this even furthermore. I could have a special live stream that we could discuss this more. Just let me know your thoughts. Again, this right here is just the tip of the iceberg, my friends. LiveWire Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.